Welcome to this week's episode of the No Flop Zone. You're taking time out with me, Boti and Joey, and of course Joey Wright, as we talk about all things basketball in this country. And before we do, just want to remind you that Built Solutions is bringing you this particular episode. Steve Walker at Built Solutions.
Steve Walker, very good guy. You know, just me going through that process that I've been going through myself with some construction and councils and all that stuff. It's just great to have a company like Built Solutions that can work with what you do and make that easier, especially for someone like me who's doing stuff from America that, you know I don't have any idea about the councils here and that stuff. So someone that can take over that project and just run it, excellent.
He's no relation to Kit Walker, is he, though? Because Kit Walker is the Phantom. But someone had to design that skull cave. Someone had to do that.
Built Solutions.
Anyway, let's move on and start where the big event of the week, the NBA, the visit of the New Orleans Pelicans, the matches against Melbourne United and Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. But the whole event, I thought, was magnificently done.
It's just first class. You know, the thing about it, anything the NBA deals with is first class. Like, you know, they went as far as to bring out the players' lockers from America, and just to make them, you know, convenient or whatever. But they just, whatever they do is first class. But more importantly, the game was first class. Yeah. The basketball was great.
Absolutely, because that almost became a little bit of a sideshow to everything that was going on. Yeah. You know, Joe Dumas, you're seeing him and you think, wow, that's an NBA icon. What's he doing here? Then you realise he's connected. Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, all that. And then Harry Connick, I know. Yeah, he's a New Orleans fan.
And he was blown away, too. Yeah. He was even shocked himself. Like, you could tell by his voice when he was speaking that he was just shocked that he's watching the Pelicans in Melbourne. Yeah, and then the games, like, I felt that United really played very well. Given that, I mean, it's a preseason game for New Orleans. We've got to have a perspective on it. You know, they weren't really pushing, but I mean, they wasn't pushing to win by a huge margin. That's obvious. That, you know, they would play more main players. They had just gotten together. Yep. That's obvious. So it was a lot of things, but the game itself didn't look like a team was playing down. No. It didn't look like, you know, it looked like two teams were competing. Yeah. And if you took a glance out there, you know, who was the NBA team?
Yeah, the fans loved it. Like, you got close to 15,000 people there, and they gave us some NBA moments too in that game. That particularly, I'm thinking of Trey Murphy with the windmill dunk on the break, and the other dunk that he threw down, and Zion Williamson.
Yeah, Zion took off from half court and made a move. He didn't dunk this, but, you know, he beat two of our guards off the triple, and then jumped over the big man and laid it up, and you just go. You know, it's you just see such speed and size, and it's amazing to see that. You never get used to it.
No, I would have trouble getting used to Jordan Poole walking around with sunglasses.
I thought that was hilarious stuff. And very Jordan Poole. I mean, he's an exceptional player, but he's a bit childish.
And I liked what Kevin Looney had to say in one of the interviews about the impact that Andrew Bogut had on him back at Golden State. He was talking about the defensive tips and things that Bogey gave him. The whole thing was a real feel-good event. Yeah. And big ticks for everything. I really didn't see a downside.
I didn't see a downside at all, and especially in a world now where everything's a bit crazy. We needed a feel-good event, so it was a great job by the NBL and the NBA.
Yeah, what I liked about Southeast Melbourne though was some of those kids off their bench, like Akachalir, Daniel Foster. They had a red-hot go. Yeah. And you're sort of thinking, well, maybe these guys deserve a bit more time in the regular season.
Well, I think some of them are definitely budding young players, and, you know, with Josh King there and developing them, they're going to just get better and better.
Hunter Maldonado. At the start of the season, we said, look, we're looking at all these imports. It doesn't look like anyone's going to get cut this year. They've already cut friends Bijenberg. And it's like, I'm looking at Hunter Maldonado. He's 8 of 31 on the season in 3 games. I'm thinking, come on, man, you got to do better than that.
He's going to definitely have to pick up better than that. They don't need much more. They do need a little bit more from him. All right, but then I think what they need is they gotta get, just like everybody else, you got to get a scoring wing that can go get a bucket without a set. Sobes obviously can do that, and right now he might be the only one that can go get a bucket, like, you know, consistently. But, you know, they might have to bring in someone that can you can hand the ball to with 2 minutes to go and get you some. And every other team has one.
I thought Sobey and Jordan Hunter really had a go. Yeah. I thought Malik Lewis was the other flip of the coin of Dash Daniels. See, Dash Daniels just seized his moment, whereas I think Malik Lewis was just trying too hard. And just the game wouldn't come to him. Daniels was great.
Yeah, I thought Daniels was exceptional. I thought he seized the moment. I thought he showed that he can play in the NBA now, and he's a 19-year-old kid.
Is he? I thought he was about 17, 18.
Oh, he might be 17, 18. Yeah, I don't know how old he is. He's got to work on that jumper, though.
Yeah.
That jumper was scary. That's the first time I saw it. I didn't even see it in preseason.
Now you know why.
No, why? I can help you there, Dash. Come talk to me and get you right.
Yeah, I just thought the whole thing was terrific. A little bit sorry for Malik Lewis because I was really kind of rooting for him.
Yeah, me
too. And it just didn't happen for him.
The good thing about the NBA is those guys understand that. Malik needs to understand that they understand that.
Right.
They understand where his head would have been. They understand him being out there. It's qualities that they're going to look for that supersede him playing well in that game. Like, it's going to be his motor, it's going to be his physicality, his IQ.
His potential.
They're going to look at that potential. They're not going to look at that game per se, but he could have shut the door like Daniels did. Yeah. He's in now, and he should be a top 5 pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the NBA, Rocco Zikarsky's had a bit of a showing what he can do in his first outing in a preseason game. Yeah. Well, is that a surprise to you? Because physically, he's still...
No, it's not a surprise for me. He's lean for a young guy. He's not lean for, he's lean because of his age. That's what I'm trying to say. I think he's definitely going to be able to put on weight. But what I like about Rocco, I always judge big guys on their personality. If a big guy has an out personality, I think he has a really good chance because he sometimes big guys aren't good just because they let the guards talk too much.
Right.
And shoot too much, and they don't say too much. All right. Isaac Humphries have been subject to that for a few seasons. He's finally got a good one now, though. But I think Rocco's going to be great. He has a great personality. His skill sets are great. He's not afraid to give it a go, and so I think he's going to do well in the NBA.
Yeah. So back to the NBL games that we're also on. Were you disappointed I was real impressed with Adelaide. I don't want to knock Adelaide, but were you disappointed with Cairns in that game against the 36ers? Cause
I keep telling y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, tell everybody, Cairns is going to be Cairns of the unbelievable one game and Cairns of the bottom at the next game because of style of play. If those shots aren't falling, it's going to look ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get hot, they're going to look great.
Yeah.
When you shoot a disproportionate amount of three-pointers, which they do, all right, the nights that they're hot, it's going to be unbelievable. And they can play with anybody in this league and anybody in a lot of leagues. But if they're not...
Well, I think Jack McVeigh's got to take more than 8 or 9 shots, whatever it was. It wasn't enough. He's got to be in double-figure shots. He has to be in double-figure shots.
They had a concerted effort to take him out of the game, and you can do that if other guys aren't hitting those shots. If the other guys start hitting after they're double-teaming the block and Jack kicks it a couple times and they hit a couple of those, then the coach on the other end goes, hey, get out of the double team, let's play him straight up, and then Jack can go to work. But is he going to get double teamed? Doesn't matter. They got to hit those shots.
Adelaide starting group, very impressive. All of them, like from Bryce with his 28, but also, you got he made some shots, Vasiljevic, so he'll be feeling better. Flynn Cameron was terrific.
Unbelievable.
Isaac was great. And then, we sort of overlook, or people tend to overlook Cheatham, but what he's bringing is winning. What do you need to win? He's going to give it to you. You need rebounding? Taking care of it. Yeah.
Whatever the team needs to do, he's going to do it. He's a little bit hesitant on offense, more than what I expected him to be based on what I saw in New Zealand, because New Zealand looked like he was going to get it. And this team, he doesn't need to. Yeah. So that's why I think he's even better player than he was in New Zealand, because he understands he doesn't need to be that guy here, and he's making sure other guys do that, and he's just cleaning up the rest of the stuff. So they look very good, off to a 2-0 start. So
I just want to pick you up on something last week we discussed, because there's been some letters. And they've said that Joey always protects the coaches. And last week I was critical of Mike Wells for taking Flynn Cameron out early in that game, and you excused him by saying that, Flynn had picked up a couple of fouls. Went and watched it again. He'd had 0 fouls when he got subbed off after 3.5 minutes. Just saying, just don't rush to the coach's aid straight away.
No, I'm going to just say I don't know, because I know it's a lot of things that go on that you could never understand.
Sure.
I had a fan tell me one time, I watched the game, and I didn't know what was going on. And I asked them what they did for a living, and I can't remember what it was. But if a person who isn't a basketball student can understand what I'm doing, then they're not doing the wrong thing. I'm probably doing the wrong thing. If a person who's not a basketball person can understand what I'm doing, you shouldn't understand what most of these coaches are doing. So all you fans go, I don't know what was going on. It's a reason why you don't know what's going on. These guys are at a higher level.
Well, I have the audacity to think that you and I have a clue, and Flynn Cameron should never have been subbed out after 3.5 minutes. He got to play in this one.
I hate the quick subs too. I hate the quick subs. I hate it. Let guys roll. You can ride a guy home sometime.
Okay, let's go to Perth, where once again the Wildcats saw off Illawarra. I'm concerned about Ja'Cory McLaughlin. I don't think he's up to it. Yeah. I mean, we want to see Dave Hickey there.
Yeah,
but
you want to see them with Hickey and him being a backup, which is what I think they brought in. Because Tatum said right away, Hickey's my starter. So I think that's the plan. Let's see what that looks like before we rush to judgment. But I'm with you on that. Not looking great. They're gonna. He's not a Trey Kell.
No. In fact, sometimes Trey Kell wasn't either.
Trey Kell wasn't the Trey Kell. He was a, hey, hell.
Okay, but Perth, did you like what Perth was doing? Because I think they've taken some steps. 10-point first quarter, 6 points 2/3 of the way through the first quarter. You're thinking, geez, this is going to be ugly. Then they come out bang with a 34-point second quarter. Game's turned on its ear. I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah, I haven't quite understand Perth, where they're going to be good at or where they're going to be bad at. And obviously it's still early, but early on it was looking really, really cagey. And then they just came out and just with athletes all over the place. And, I do like Lil Willie. He's
so do I. I'm 100% to start him.
Yeah.
Either you got to give Mason Jones a chance to get comfortable in the point guard position, or put him in the 2 and start Jaron Riley. And I think that's hard for John as his father.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but also John's a basketball guy, and he got to make basketball decisions. It's only one criticism I have, and he looks so much like John. That's it. Yeah. Can't help it.
Right. Well, we're not going to go there, but I mean, I think the Dante Russo Nance starting experiment is a fail. So you're better off persisting with Mason Jones. I mean, this is a G League killer, so he's going to be a good player. Yeah. Or move him to the 2 and put Jaron Riley in the 1. That's all I'm thinking.
Like putting Riley at the 1. I do like putting that and let everybody else go score. He just moved the ball like that. You don't need 5 guys on the court always ready to take shots, and he's obviously capable of making those shots, but he made sure other people got their shots when he was on the court.
And he's a lefty, which is always just adds something to you.
I like it. I like it.
All right. What do you like about New Zealand? Anything at all? I mean, the scenery's lovely over there.
I think it's something there, and I think they're going to win games, but I don't think they have enough talent to win a lot of games. I think they're going to be in bottom 4 again.
I like the way they started against Sydney. They're 12-all, and then Petteri Koponen subs out a bunch of the guys that he started and puts in the Rob Lowe, Isaiah Liafa, and Ruben Tarangi, and you're sort of going, look.
All of the starters in this league before.
Yeah, but I'm not knocking that they've been good players, but that's past tense. Right now, what they bring is guidance and seniority can help. But let's get some younger guys in the game. None of them have done. Rob Lowe hasn't done anything. Isaiah Liafa's had one game where he shot.
You're not saying Isaiah Liafa is old by any means, are you?
I'm not saying he's old.
Okay.
But I'm saying I don't think there's anything in his future that we haven't already seen. Is what I'm saying. There's nothing new is coming.
If we see more consistency, that would be. If we've seen some big games out of him, but we want to see some consistency out of him, and that's it. That's if he comes in, he can 8 to 10 points off the bench, play great D, get the ball to where it needs to be, limit turnovers. I think he'd be a great asset for them.
Yeah, but I'm talking more limited time, more specific time like that. I want to see some of those younger guys. I want to see Davison. I want to see Darling. I want to see those guys have a crack.
Yeah,
because they're not going anywhere.
Darling, something must be going on with that, because I know they brought him in there to probably be a little bit more of have more influence, and he played quite a bit last year. But I'd like to see him more too.
Sydney.
Sydney, I didn't see the game. I didn't see the game. So
Kendrick Davis had a good game.
Okay.
28 points on 11 of 17 shooting, which is just slightly better than Bryce's 28 on 11 of 18.
Don't compare.
Well, they're coming up. We'll talk about it later in the show with the Adelaide Sydney this weekend. So that's coming up.
Oh, is that this weekend?
Yeah, that's this weekend.
What, Saturday?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Must got to be there.
Yeah, got to be there. Got to be part of the sold-out crowd. But anyway, but again, Xavier Cook's 8 points, really not effective. Delhi, I don't think Delhi scored. Pretty sure he didn't score. He was 0 of whatever. He shot 6 or something. Yeah, I'm still not convinced by Sydney. And now that Brian Goorjian has come out and said, we're not bringing in a new player, that sort of means, well, this is the group that has to get it done.
Every coach says that until it's time to bring in a new player. Trust me, I've said it many times. We're not bringing in a replacement. Everything is great. Cut next week.
Is that a bit like management saying, the coach, we have full confidence in the coach?
If you hear that, it's
You're gone.
It's time to go.
Stop packing.
No, I think, I definitely think right now you got to say that to try to get these guys in jail and come together. So typically when most coaches say that, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a statement to try to unite everybody. So I don't know that anything's going on there, but usually statements like that are statements to unite. So maybe they need to feel like they need to bring the team together more.
And the last game was the terrific Brisbane Tasmania match. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Because when you take out Casey Prather, who's probably been their best player so far, Javon Liberty Freeman, Mitch Norton, Sam McDaniel, that's 4 of your first 6. The other 2 guys are Jalen Adams and Terrell Harrison. That's your first 6. You got 4 gone. I'm looking at who they put on the floor at the start, and I think they're going to get massacred. And they were terrific, those guys.
They did.
Tane Murray, Dukas.
Tane Murray's stepped up big time. Dukas not as great, but he still is a player. I like his confidence. The guy ain't scared to shoot the ball.
Delusional confidence?
Delusional confidence.
But also, just Jack Purchase, son of Nigel, apologies, hits 2 threes in the corner right when they're coming. Callum Dalton gives them some valuable minutes. They just had guys that stepped up that you maybe wouldn't have expected. And then we had that sort of controversial finish with people saying that Magnay flopped. Well, he did flop, but he got hit square in the chest, and it was a charge.
That was a charge.
Yeah.
That was definitely a charge. And then you have the incident right after that on the other end. But I think we went too far on the charges. Like, if you hit a guy square on and you're out of control, like, you don't have to fall down. You shouldn't have to fall down to take
You shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have to. Like, you displaced the player. He's out of control, or he's, extended an arm or whatever. Make the call. They're going overboard on the flopping. Like, Magnay it's going to be hard to knock that guy down. And that was a good square hit.
Yeah.
It was a good square hit.
But if he doesn't go down, does he get the call? Because I'm talking about the Terrell Harrison one that would have won the game.
Terrell Harrison one, yeah.
Where he gets him square in the chest, makes the shot. That would have been the game winner potentially. But he's hit Magnay square in the chest. Magnay's gone down. If he doesn't go down, if he doesn't flop, does he get that call? Because I don't think he would.
I don't think he would get it. No, I don't think he'd get it. I don't think he should have to go down.
That's the point. That's the point. That's a strong point that I think the referees need to really pick up on that area.
Yeah. I've seen probably 4 or 5 charges this year that were definitely charges, and not only did they not call charges, they called flopping on it. And that's insult to injury. Like, some of these guys got off the floor feeling the pain and still was like, what? So if you go through somebody that hard, it's charged.
This is the part of the show where we have the built solutions. We're going to
build our team.
We're going to build our team. But before we do, just quickly about build solutions, the fact that you're dealing with one person all the way through, that's what you were getting at the start of the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, just having someone that you can go to, one that you trust, they work for you and you trust them. Instead of dealing with, a range of people, you may sometimes be dealing with a consultant that not always have your best interest in favor. With Built Solutions, you're dealing with one person. You're dealing with a group of people that's on your side. So that's why I think it's a great opportunity for any builder or investor out there. And
all the stress is taken away then.
Taken away.
From you, yeah. All right, well, let's have our Built Solutions builder team for this week from the round.
Mine?
Well, I'd love to hear yours.
All right, we got McGee,
Yeah, JaVale McGee.
We got Daniels.
Dash Daniels, okay.
We got Bryce Cotton. I think Bryce going to be in mine every week. I'm going to be a Build Solutions all-star. We had by the end of the year, we'll definitely have him. But I threw Zion in there as well.
Yeah.
All right, and Milton Doyle.
Yeah, Milton Doyle didn't look at all out of place.
Nah,
he could have been wearing the other uniform. Yep. It was fine. And I think what Zion brought, not just on the floor, which was also pretty impressive, but the way he handled the whole event, the way he gave his shoes to the young man that had beaten cancer, and just some of the things that they did. And the crowd chanting, "We want Zion," when he wasn't on the floor, and him grinning like a Cheshire cat. All of that stuff, really made a good five.
And I think Zion needed this year to go the way it's going. He needed to drop the weight. He needed to change the image a little bit and get back to playing some ball and showing that he's one of the top superstars in the league. And it was great that Australia could promote that.
Yep. All right, I'm going to give you my five now.
That's cool.
I'm taking Kendrick Davis because of his performance against New Zealand, which was on a par with Bryce's. But like I said, they're coming to a head. So I like the way that's looking.
Let's hope no one gets hurt over this.
Yeah, I like the way that's looking. And then TJ Starks, who, again, was another guy that's pretty much off the plane, rushed into the Tasmania team, looked like he didn't have his legs early. Then he gets 13 points in the last quarter, turns that game on its ear. And I thought...
But he's leaving, right?
Yeah, he's got a gig in a few weeks' time. He's there replacing David Johnson.
Just for this game?
No, I think about four weeks I think he's got.
Okay.
So he's going to be a real asset to them.
He was exceptional.
Yeah, and if I was Illawarra, I'd be chasing him maybe for next year.
It'd be hard to pay, probably beat China money. But
the other three I had was also Milton Doyle, because he was terrific. JaVale McGee, because he's just unstoppable. But Josh Bannon was my other man. I thought his performance against his old club in that environment, he was terrific. 23 points, 15 rebounds, career high. That's my five.
I love him. But he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, well, so far so good. Same with Magnay. A lot of guys have got to stay healthy. That's sort of a prerequisite, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's go. We've got a couple of viewers' topics. We've been inundated, and that's fantastic. But we're just running out of time to get them all. Keep them coming in, and we'll try and get them in as many as we can. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Adam Westerhout, who says, after watching the Pelicans versus United, what is one element from the NBA? It's a single game, production rules, one element that you would take to implement in the NBL. Something that they're doing that we're not.
Trades, for me.
Trades?
Trades, 100%. They do trades, the league will get another hit. You get another month, you get to talk about the teams. People start getting into what they would do. They get into the hysteria, sit in rooms and drink beer and talk about who they would do. I think it'd be great for the NBL. I've been saying it for years.
If you're Adelaide, who would you trade? That's a question without notice.
If I was in LA, who would I trade?
Yeah. Okay. For me, I'd bring back the jump ball. I like seeing jump balls, and jump balls in play is a good thing. But I think we do actually adopt a lot of what the NBA does, even with this Ignite Cup, in-season tournament, and calling the top six a play-in tournament, because that's what the NBA does. I think we pick up a fair bit from them anyway. Jason DeSantis says, I know this has been discussed a lot, but I think it's been mostly surface-level discussion, and I feel like you and Joey might be able to be a bit more candid. Perth Wildcats losing Bryce Cotton to the 36ers has to be one of the greatest front office, I'm going to change that to balls ups, of all time. He is possibly, if not definitely, the greatest player that the league has seen, and he's now an Australian, saving the 36ers a ton in cap tax. Can you and Joey go into this a little deeper, and why haven't heads rolled in Perth? Danny Mills, who's the CEO, has been horrible since he's been there. This is the opinion of Jason DeSantis. And has ruined what the Cats were and continuously put together teams that don't work. I know it's early, but it seems obvious Mason Jones isn't the guy Perth need. I don't know if you're right about that, Jason. Successful NBL teams have at least one, if not two, quality real point guards. Perth haven't had one for years.
I think Perth's been fine for years. They're still winning, so whatever they had, they were winning. To afford another standout point guard next to Bryce, cap wise, that doesn't work.
Right.
You got to, you're spending a disproportionate amount of money over here. So what you're going to get on this side of it is a little bit different than what you normally would get. So that's why you haven't seen a standout gun point guard in Perth. All right, it's a money thing. As far as what Danny's done down there, I know it's been 3 different owners. Probably think since
Jack Bendett.
Since Jack Bendett, or 2 since Jack,
yeah.
So 3.
Yep.
So it's been some change in there. I would be responsible for talking about what I think's happened down there. I do know this. They probably didn't for sure treat Bryce the way they should have.
Absolutely not.
All right, and it's probably a situation where you took that for granted. And Bryce is showing them right now. Like, he's going to play with a whole bunch of little different fire behind him than what he did. And all a guy like that is looking for is motivation at his age.
Yep.
His ability to shoot the ball and pass the ball and all that stuff is exceptional. So he's just looking for a reason to play harder, and he will this year. But
this is also why I don't think the Perth fans will boo him, because he's taken them through so many highs, and it's not his fault.
you wait.
Yeah,
It's enough idiots everywhere.
This is the management screwed this up.
Yeah,
That's all
I think the majority of the crowd's going to be a clap for him, but I do think it's going to be some idiots enough in there to boo him and him just leaving them and just be upset because he left them.
I think when the game gets going and he knocks down a couple of shots that maybe blow them off the floor, then the love will change. But I
like to see him have 60 against Perth. I would love it.
And he can do it.
He can do it. That's the crazy part. He can do it.
All right, we'll be back to talk about the match of the round in just a second. All right, we're back and we're talking about the match of the round. We've narrowed it down to Adelaide, Sydney on Saturday night because of the
hype a little bit. It's lost a little bit of its hype with Trez going. I'd love to see Trez here.
I think that would have made a huge difference. But it's going to be a very interesting game because of the Kendrick Bryce Cotton dynamic as well.
Yeah, that's just going to be a great matchup either way. Last time they played, it was a great matchup. I do think Adelaide will maybe edge them out on that one.
Yeah, and Adelaide fans have always been huge supporters of Brian Goorjian. They've always loved it when he's come to town.
Is that you being sarcastic?
That's me being sarcastic.
Okay. That's him being sarcastic.
No, Brian's well loved here, but he's got history. The more so than say Sydney Adelaide has history, but Brian and Adelaide have history. Kendrick Davis is some very interesting things going to happen in this game. Delhi,
Well, even Isaac used to play for Sydney.
That's
a while ago. And DJ used to play for Sydney. He's always had a thing about, playing against Sydney and making some statements. So
there's a lot to it.
He'll be fired up and ready to go. Should make for a great game. Sell out. So
can Delhi stop Bryce Cotton?
It's one human being that can stop Bryce in this league. Just one.
Yep.
And that's Bryce.
Yep. Even though Perth claim they've got a Bryce stopper, but we'll talk about that in a few weeks' time.
We'll see. We'll see.
I want to thank Built Solutions for supporting us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.